Hey folks, Dave here, and welcome to a special Fallout 4 crafting video where I'm going to be taking a look at the new settlement build options in the Wasteland Workshop DLC. And I'm going to see what that thing has to offer. I am traveling back to Spectacle Island, at least my custom build of Spectacle Island, which in my save game is called Pleasure Island. If you guys want to get a better look at this custom build, I actually have a full tour of that. You can check that out by following the link in the description or the annotation on the screen right now. Parts 1 and 2 of that should be live, and it is a pretty wild ride. As you can see from the sign right here, it is Joel's Pleasure Island here on Spectacle Island, and it goes back pretty far. But today, I'm heading over to, I believe it's the eastern side, no, the southern side of Spectacle Island, to use that as a building ground for the new DLC. We're going to head past the pit here. That is where rule breakers go on Joel's Pleasure Island. And as you guys can see, I've already been pretty busy. This is going to be a new death arena on Pleasure Island. And honestly, yes, I just couldn't help myself. This thing got a little bit out of control already. But today, we're going to build quite a bit more onto it and see if I can get this thing working. Now, if you're here to just see how the arena fights work, you want to see some battling, I'm not sure if that's going to take place in this video. But if it does, I will have an annotation on the screen right now where you can jump to that point in the video where the fighting takes place. Or if it's in a part 2 or an episode 2 of this build series, that link will be in the description. But yeah guys, this is the arena I've been working on. And before I do a full walk around and we start digging into all of the new stuff that the Wasteland Workshop DLC has brought, let me hop up here to the control room, which I already left open. Let's duck inside here. Restricted area. Now, my design for this fighting arena, which I have not named yet, was to create a just ridiculously huge arena with a central control room where Joel, the owner of the island in my save game, can oversee his fights and his judgments from safety. I just want everything controlled from this control room. Now, not everything is hooked up yet, but as you can see, I've definitely been busy. Let me turn off the Cell Master power there. And let's take a look first at, this is one of the new official fusion generators you can build. This one is currently powering, I think, everything here at the arena. And it's kind of funny, it made me laugh. I could build these with some of the mods that I use here on PC, but the modded versions were very expensive to build and only gave you like 30 power. The Bethesda versions are about the same to build, but give you 100 power. So Bethesda's official fusion generator is actually very overpowered compared to the cut down modded one that I've been using. So I will definitely be using Bethesda's version of the generator. And resources are important to me, even here on PC, because the only mods that I'm using are mods that let me build more things and place more objects more easily. I still handcraft and hand gather all of the supplies that I need to build all this stuff, either by gathering junk or by buying shipment of supplies with the caps that my settlements actually earn. So this is all legit. I think I've gone through like maybe 2,500 steel and 1,200 concrete building this place so far, and it's only going to get worse from here. Anyway, first things first, you guys can see that we have some lettering options. I'll just show you guys where that is. With my mod set, I am using settlement keywords, which reorganizes my categories, so yours might be a bit different. but you should have a lettering category under wall decorations. And I am having to run a special patched version of settlement keywords to get it to work with the DLC. You can find a link to that in the forum thread for the settlement keywords mod. But you can actually place any letters and numbers that you want along with some special characters. That's where you can find that. Got an oil lantern here. I think that one's one of my modded ones, but I believe the DLC has added official lanterns and candles. I just haven't been able to find them in all of my modded versions. But here on the weapons wall, I have complete defensive turrets to help protect the arena, its owner, as well as anyone who is here to watch one of the fights. If I hit this switch right here that says cages, all of the turrets over here in the well, cage area where the prisoners and the animals are kept should activate. There we go. The laser turrets are active. Well, let me see if I can get a better view from over here. There we go. You can see a few of the cages down there. That's an option for if, you know, there's a breakout or something gets loose in the cage area. Let me shut those turrets back off. For the main fighting field itself, which you can kind of get a look at here, I have a ring of emergency turrets along with guards in the guard towers. As you guys can see, the power runs along the very, very high wall, but the turrets are powered down. Again, I have a slightly dangerous but separate link for those wall turrets. So under the walls option, under the turret weapons sign, I can just flip that switch. And one by one, there's the missile turret. I think we have a laser one, yep, right there. There's a missile turret here in the corner, and a heavy laser, and a few others just tucked away here and there. But yeah, guys, that's how the defenses work. Easy control from the control center. And like I do with all my settlements, including this extra special addition to the already overly complex Spectacle Island build, I've tried to build it into the terrain as much as possible. That's why you'll see that I have kept the old power poles coming from that tugboat out there. Just run them through that wire mesh and then put spikes at the base of the towers so no one can climb them in the arena. Now next to Joel's chair here, his fight overlord chair, I've got a switch that, besides toggling a couple of the extra lights that aren't really needed, they're just extra, it'll also toggle our fight whistle out here. Nice convenient switch, and you guys should be able to hear the bell. Unless I switched it off. Oh, yep, it is switched off. So this is actually set up so that you would power it up and just leave it powered, and you would control it with this switch right here. So, you know, work time, and the light turns green, and the bell goes off there. You turn it off, and I think everyone kind of goes idle. But I wanted it to be controlled from the switch inside, so I'm going to leave that box on the switch, on the whistle, that is. Call it quitting time siren? It's not a siren or a whistle, it's a bell. Anyway, I'm going to leave that powered on. That way, I can use this power pylon to control it. So we can say, you know, start the fight. And the extra lights in the control room come on. And the light should go green to start the fight. That seems to be working just fine. Okay, so that's the whistle that starts the fight. Let me go ahead and head out this way, and we'll take a look at what the walls and this initial layout of the build is looking like. Of course, it is nowhere close to complete yet, but I've definitely put a really solid foundation down. Again, using the natural sloping terrain and the trees as part of the build, kind of building the deck work around it. And I'm thinking that under here, I'm going to build some kind of like snack stand or small kitchen, maybe selling some beer and snacks for the fight. We actually have a merchant from the main part of the Pleasure Island Spectacle Island settlement hanging out here on the benches. That's pretty cool. You guys can see that all the turrets are powered down right now. And I am going to want to finish this railing pretty soon, I think. I just realized that that's not quite all there. Going back here, you guys can see how this platform provides an extra bit of stairs to get up to the viewing area. And this is the primary viewing area into the arena. For all the plebs, at least. Joel and his party get the exclusive control room booth, of course.
Yes.
And I also noticed that, which tower is it? Yeah, that power pole right there is kind of close to the wall, and it has those nice climbable pegs. And for me personally, realism in my settlements is pretty important. I try to make things blend in, even when they're gigantic arenas like this. And I like to think about what you would do if you were actually building these things. So looking at that pole, which I didn't want to remove because it was part of the base settlement, I decided to build up an electrified barbed wire fence at the top of the viewing fence, just in case someone tries to climb it quickly and escape before the fight overlord can hit the switch for the turrets. Speaking of which, I think Joel just arrived. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
I just want to trade.
that's Joel's NPC right there. It's got, ooh, a unique assault rifle. Very nice. And a stim pack. Well, there's no fights going on right now because we haven't finished the build, but let's go ahead and head up to the first guard tower here. And like everything that I build, you gotta go for that realism. You guys can see that there are arch supports under all the overhangs. Little elbow supports to help the platforms and whatnot actually look like they're supported. And walking out of the first guard tower, I've built a access walkway here where I've run the power for the extra turrets, and then one more power pylon switch that I believe, yeah, just goes to that one extra laser turret right there in the corner. And we're going to hop down to the fighting field itself here in just a minute and check out all of the traps and special surprises that I have added for our fighters. I've seen a bit of Z fighting right there, a couple of polygons flickering, but they stopped. Interesting. And from the second guard tower, which has a secondary use of keeping an eye on the beach for any intruders who aren't paying their entry fee, we're going to head down this access staircase here. I'm going to turn my mouse down DPI wise just a bit before I make you guys dizzy. I'm so used to building with my mouse just cranked really high. You can see through the access grate here. I guess it's just really a viewing grate. This is what the prisoner section looks like right now. And I'm going to move on past this platform so we can get a closer look. Now, one thing I was a bit disappointed in as far as the cages go is they're really just spawning tools. They're cool, don't get me wrong, but you basically build one of these cages like this one to capture ghouls in, and then you just go either leave your settlement to go explore the wasteland or just, you know, sleep, get time to pass, and the game just gives a random chance of a ghoul or whatever other animal goes along with that trap actually spawning inside the trap. So you don't have any kind of like, you know, tranquilizer darts or anything crazy like that for capturing things in the wild, from what I can tell. The cages are really just tools to randomly, possibly spawn those creatures and enemies in. Now, again, that's cool, and I do like how these look, but when I got to thinking about how I wanted to array my fighting arena here for Spectacle Island, Pleasure Island, I wanted it more organized like a prison. I'm going to use this switch right here to activate this new power door as part of the DLC. I'm going to march in. I like the uniform look of actually having all the prison areas match, because, you know, all the spawn traps do look a bit different. So, I don't think these have power right now, but I'm planning on putting a lot of the Deathclaw cages and stuff that are really just too big for small rooms like that over here in this area, where I have the new Deathclaw head hanging out right there. And you guys can see that these are the turrets that I had activated for the cage area when we were back in the control room. I also have a mod that causes these spotlights right here to cast shadows, and that looks really cool coming from not that light, but oh yeah, that light right there in the access cage, and that gives me a walkway to control all of these doors one by one without exposing myself to the horrors inside. Just a complete protective cage with a solar panel that a mod added right there on top. And that solar panel is really just power for the spotlights. It's just, I think, 5 power. But that's enough. And this, guys, is a test ghoul trap that I placed before I left to go buy more steel, I think it was. And as you guys can see, no one actually got caught inside of it. So, no success just yet. That's okay. You can get a good look at the control room up there, and the viewing area, and the combination swamp and hillside fighting arena. I want to go back to the doors real quick, show you guys how these powered sliding doors work. To do that, though, I'm going to head back out this way, and we're going to head to the control room and activate the power for those doors. Oh, and you guys might have noticed that I have some bubble turrets in here thanks to a mod. That was not Wasteland Workshop. Again, I am running this on PC, and along with the new Workshop DLC, I'm running something like 90 mods. But if you'd like more information on those, I do keep a complete Google Doc with all my mods in the description. Back on track, let's turn on the cell door power. That's the master control switch for the cells. And you guys can see that as soon as I hit that, my wall spotlights activate, and they're going to start swinging back and forth. The idea being that if the cell doors are powered up, then the spotlights need to be on in case one of those doors is actually open and someone gets out into the arena. Oh, and while we're up here, for the Fight Master's chair here, I do have some glass that I added, which has a wood effect because the texture is not quite configured correctly as glass, being a modded asset. But I just didn't want open windows right in front of the control chair, just in case some of the raiders and whatnot that might be fighting here soon would have a weapon. Let's head back down. Oh, and another reason that I chose this side of the island for this build is because there's a couple of bodies that spawn here constantly. These are, I guess, yeah, people that had died before you came to the settlement. And if you move these bodies, the game will respawn them at these 2 locations. So I figured, hey, I can basically use them as props. I just threw some carts under them here, and now we've got some competitors that have died fighting in the ring. And we're going to dispose of those bodies. And if you guys have seen the full tour of my Pleasure Island build here on Spectacle Island, you'll know immediately where those bodies will be disposed of. I do have just a couple of small turrets out here to watch things. Okay. I'm just going to go ahead and shut these lights off for now. Notice I've got a label LT on the switch. That'll cut off those spotlights. And you guys can see that all of these door switches now have power. So if I want to open the cells, I can hit this one. And that'll open that one up. This switch right here is actually one that I no longer need, so I'm going to store that in the workshop. This switch should open the next door, and so on. And I am going to come through and label all of these once I get all of my wiring set up exactly how I want it. As far as building materials go, all of this nice reinforced concrete is part of the new DLC. Everyone can build that, including you guys playing on console. These nice decking pieces right here, the kind of elevated walkway decking. I love this building block. It looks awesome. That is also part of the workshop DLC. However, this cage right here, I think it's the security cage, that is a mod, not part of the DLC. Go down the stairs here. And, oh yeah, these nice concrete stairs are also part of the DLC, as are these railings and these decking pieces right here. That one is rotated, and that is going to bug me. Okay, fixed it. Out here I have a ragstag trap. I'm just now realizing that I just sauntered right in without thinking about it to look at the carrots. Not ragstags, radstags. I believe that their meat is useful for a couple of other traps to build, so I don't see them really fighting in the arena, but I can use them as bait, if nothing else. And again, I do like having a explanation and a story for everything that I build. So I've built this kind of dock section here that's of course not quite finished yet, where the deliveries of death claws and whatever else can be brought over on a barge, landed on the beach or just off the beach here. And a death claw of course is not going to fit in this powered door right here. So I added a large vault door, a security door, to the cage area. And that is a mod, not part of the DLC. What is part of the DLC, though, are these nice concrete pillars that I not only use to hold up the access cage, but to fill in the gaps around the security door, which is not a perfect fit. I need one more right there. As you can see, you can kind of see right through the piece of the door there. Again, I do love those concrete pieces, and the pillars were a nice touch from Bethesda to add in. So I'm going to go to structures, concrete, and then walls. Man, I've gone through so much concrete. I'm using a mod here that lets me place things anywhere, so I'm going to turn off snapping in the engine, actually, so I can just clip this piece and make it the perfect depth to fill in around the door. There we go. Now it's all bolted down and you won't be able to see sky through the door frame when it's open. Almost. I'm going to use an auto hotkey script to adjust the position just a couple of units, and that should do it right there. Cool. Just close that security door. This Tesla coil right here is also part of the cage defenses. I have it unhooked from the power lines that go along with those turrets just because each time I would test the turrets back here, it would charge the Tesla coil, which would then break it. I got really tired of wasting copper repairing that thing over and over again. But at long last, guys, let's take a look at the fighting pit itself. Again, I haven't really come up with a good name for this just yet. The pit was already taken by the internment camp in the middle of the island. The ring is the smaller fighting cage that's over there in the main part of Pleasure Island. This needs a grander kind of name. Something arena, maybe. Honestly, it's super late, and my brain is a bit fried from all this wiring and digging into all this new stuff. It really hooked me a lot more than I expected because, you know, usually the arena or the raider or the more unusual stuff in the settlement building isn't my thing. I just stick to the more traditional Minutemen settlements that fit in with the game, usually. But honestly, guys, building an arena like this with so many features and functions has been it's been a lot of fun. Let's do a quick tour of what I've got down here. Again, I do have spikes on these power poles that are going through the arena. Just didn't feel like moving those and breaking things. Hidden under the surface of the water right here, I have a pressure plate trap. And my armor, thankfully, mostly protects me from that. Now, right now, you can pretty clearly see where that is in the water. But depending on where the sun is and what time of day it is, it can be very hard to tell that anything is under that water. It can get real swampy looking. Going first person here because back here in this corner, I have a saw blade on a track to help just kind of cover the vent that helps water come in and out of the arena down here in the swampy part. And once I get the power hooked up, those will be spinning and going back and forth on that underwater track. Now, this right here, I had not tried to use. This is a starting position for the kind of red versus blue settler fights that you can start. You can find these under the root menu, under cages, and then arena. Blue team and red team. I've placed both of them, but have not tried them yet. And settlers assigned to these two areas will be hostile to each other. I guess they'll just duke it out. We'll have to test that out here shortly and see how that works. More spikes protecting the power line. We've got a spring trap here. Hit the pressure plate. A nasty piece of sheet metal stabs you. I've used my auto hotkey script console commands to rotate this saw blade to be mounted along the wall right under the viewing area. So I'd imagine that if someone walked into that during a fight, the whole audience would get sprayed with blood, but that seems appropriate for the kind of what did Joel call it? The dark, like Pinocchio Island horror story that is my Pleasure Island build. It really does kind of fit in. Besides the saw blades, we've got a flamethrower trap back here, ready to set all of the bushes on fire. An additional saw blade. Looking up, you can see the control room up there. All kinds of power lines to help control all the different traps. No real climbing points on these. Again, I like to think through, you know, how you would actually set this up. And even if you manage to climb one of them, they're all in the middle of the ring. They're not going to be a lot of help for getting you out of the fighting pit. I'm just noticing now that this floor piece right here, oops, is a bit off kilter and has a bit of a gap. There we go. Fix that. More saw blades right here underneath the window of the control room. There's the blue team starting location, and I'm thinking about making like a separate small entrance right here for the blue team. Maybe the red team, if it was a like settler versus settler fight, could just come in this way, get them down there on their starting point, and we could sneak the blue team in on this side. I'm just going to see how that system works because I had not yet tried it. But for now, it's just an access door that I'm just leaving unlocked at the moment. More saw blades, of course, and one more Tesla coil to protect things. And before I forget about it, there is one more trap. Oh, we also can't get out this way because the power switch for the door is on the outside. Good thing I have this access door. I guess I can just, you know, pull a wall section off in workshop mode if it comes down to it. I haven't quite figured out how I'm going to set this up yet, but there's a trap door right here. I don't know if I'm going to like put a rug over it and hide it, or make it like a well-known thing that there's a trap door where people can be added to the fight, but it just hits right here on the dirt pile in the corner. And if whoever's controlling all of the traps really hates you, they can hit all of these saw blades and activate them. So you'll fall down, probably hit the dirt, and roll right into the saws. And the flamethrower. It could get nasty quick. Tell you what, guys, I'm going to make a quick save right there. Let me grab a couple of these settlers that have decided to, no pun intended, settle in. And we'll test out the fighting system just as soon as we actually hook those traps up to power. They're already all connected on the pole. I just want to add the control panels in, and we should be good to go. Now, I'm pretty sure there's all kinds of glitches you can use to get wires through walls on PC, on console. There's a way to do it on whatever platform you're playing the game on. But for me, because I'm using the Place Anywhere mod, I can really just glitch the wires where I want them. It's honestly just a time saver. I don't have to worry about, you know, doing the rug glitch and stuff like that. For you guys playing on console, that is one of the mods that I would really hope comes your way, just because of the amount of time it saves. So there, you can see the game is saying, hey, you can't place this here. Turn it snapping back on. You can place it there, but you know, you can't place it in the sky. But the mod that I use, the Place Anywhere mod, says, sure you can. And that really opens up a lot of different options as you're building. So let's see, can I connect to that? Okay, the short tower, that's going to be, that's the flamethrower. Oh, the radiation emitter, I forgot that, down there in the center. It's the flamethrower and the radiation emitter and you know, other temporary powered traps like that. I'm also going to need a power source. Oh. Will this actually reach? It will, but I really don't like that. No, don't store the red glass. I don't like that hanging over the viewing area from the seat. So, I'm gonna place a couple of these. There's so much electricity running in here, and as you can see, I've got 781 copper left. Again, all legit. That used to be a lot more copper. I think I was up to like 1200 because I hadn't done a whole lot of lighting for Spectacle Island outside of those light boxes. This, though, has so many conduits. I'm going to run power to that switch there. And I forgot to turn the switch off first, so the traps have activated. I'm going to have to go down and repair them. But hey, it worked. Let me turn this switch off. Turn you off too. That's our power source. So that goes to there. And then we need a conduit to go out to the pole. Okay, so actually let me just connect it there. And I'll connect it with my power pole. The power poles, again, being a custom mod that I'm using. Really adds a nice, realistic look. Alright guys, here we go. Moment of truth. Let's power up all of the saw blade traps and see if they're working. Should be this switch right here. Oh, that is awesome. As you guys can tell, I've kind of placed them in the corners of the arena so that if you're, fighting along the edge instead of in the middle, or you're trying to hide along the edge, you gotta watch out for all the traps. That is just too awesome. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna actually leave those going. Well, actually no. They're gonna be super loud. I'm just realizing that's a lot of noise. Okay. We'll power them back up before we go down to check it out. First though, let's add our lettering. Just so we know, left one's gonna be I guess I can just call it saws. I'll put it actually on the switch here. It's gonna be a tight fit though. Okay, so that's the saws. What's a good shorthand for all of the flamethrower traps, the radiation traps, all the stuff that really only works once until you have to reset it? Trap, I guess? Just generic trap. I'll put TP. So that I know that that is the trap system. Okay, I gotta go check that out, guys. That is too awesome. Can I actually hop down over here? No, I have built the wall up too much. Oh, I thought I could get in. That's fine. Why use the door when you can just drop in? We'll have to test these out here in a second with our settlers. Do a quick save. Just gonna hop down. Ow. Thankfully, I have really good armor. Oh yeah, there's more spike traps here in the dirt, in the long grass. That is awesome. Okay, let's reset all of our traps. Can repair it. What else went crazy? I think it was radiation emitter. Ooh, that costs nuclear material. Always fighting to find that stuff. Nice. Okay, well, we have officially quick saved enough. Let me knock a few of these settlers into the pit. Let's see if we can figure out how to get them into the ring efficiently.
Out here, you gotta take things one day at a time.
Alright, ghoul number 1. You're going to go. Oh, I'm stuck underneath now. I'll make them Is it Team Red that's down in the corner? I think it is.
Got it.
Let's see where she goes. I don't think she can figure out how to actually get in the pit. So I may have to either, you know, wait or fast travel to get them inside. Or because I'm on PC, I can just use a console command to like scoot them into the wall or through the wall where they're supposed to be. Alright, cowboy. Let's have you fight in here next. Let's see if I can just have him walk over to next to it first. Here he comes. Where did the ghoul go? She has... Ow! Hit my own trap. She has disappeared. Oh, there she is. So she is trying to get in. Eventually your settlers should be able to figure out how to get into the arena. In this case, I'm just going to save us some time. Drop her in there with some console commands. There she goes. Oh, she stepped right into one of the first traps. Where's Mr. Cowboy? Where'd he go? So I'm going to get a few console commands going here. See if he made it inside the arena. He did. Alright guys, let's see if we can start the fight.
Okay.
Blue team is assigned. Are they taunting? Ow. That's cool. They're waving to the crowd. I swear, I'm gonna get killed before the fight even starts from all these traps.
Hope you ain't one of them since.
Do we just wait for the fight to start? Let's put the arena a bit closer. I may have to move these up a tiny bit.
Who?
Oh, he spotted her.
Let's do this.
Let's get to safety. To the command bunker. Oh, that's awesome. People are cheering. Joel is cheering. His NPC is cheering the fight. He's got a single shot. That's interesting. Ghoul is reloading. He's hiding awfully close to those saw blades. I think it's time, guys. Oh, this is so awesome. Oh, and down he goes. Now, I believe that losing settlers in fights like this will lower the happiness of your settlement. But after all, this is the horror that is Pleasure Island, so I'm not too worried about that. He fought pretty valiantly, I guess. I mean, he shot first and still lost, I'm just saying. Nothing to be super proud of. And our champion is now angrily facing the corner. I guess she definitely had some better armor. Alright guys, I'm going to load up my save game, and before I kill myself with my own traps, I want to expand and build a couple of cages for the prison section over here. I'm running low on time, because, as always, there's tons more I want to work on. I'm having way too much fun playing around with all the new toys. But, seeing we've got this door section powered up, to wrap up this first episode, because there's going to be more, I want to get some of those cages set up back here, because these prison cells are neat, but too small. Okay, let me just open up all the doors so I can access everything. And let's see what we have to work with. Let me open this door too. Alright. Dramatic door swing. Ghouls. Now, ghouls, I think, they'll go in the completely boxed in cage right here. That's going to be really pushing it as far as the width of the box goes. Sorry guys, I'm thinking out loud here. I'm looking at just the overall shape. Will that actually fit? I don't think the AI can path find their way out of that, so I'm gonna need to make those cages deeper. I guess more specifically, make the prison cells deeper for the cages. First though, let's place this sucker. We gotta get our death claw cage going for sure. Wow, this thing is huge. I'll go ahead and place it, seeing it takes up by far the most space of any of these cages. And what I'd like to do is to have a dedicated power line for each one of these major cages so that you can open them remotely from the command center. And that's what that big cluster of power switches was. Remove that concrete wall, remove that concrete wall, as well as that one, move that cage and this one. For large cages, we also have the option of, oh, just the ragstag. Radstag. I'm losing it, guys. Yeah, I need some more Radstag meat actually to build more cages. Definitely want the Mirelurk cage too. Whew, my copper supplies have taken a hit. For now though, we'll just build some of these medium cages. And you do have the option for some smaller ones like the mutant hound cage. Might just put him out here. Actually, I could probably just have these guys on their own power switch. Maybe just up here in this control room instead of the main one. Or just link them together and have a switch back in the command room. Like, release the hounds button. Okay, that would be kind of fun to actually label it with a sign that says release the hounds. I'm gonna go to my concrete floors here. See, that's 8 steel and 4 concrete per placement. This should be plenty of room for us to actually have some full-sized cages, though. I'm gonna do concrete. Oh, and this conduit for the door is gonna have to get replaced. Okay, that's good there. I believe I had, yes, I had windowed concrete walls for the ends, so you can see in the back, although I guess that's kind of pointless if we're putting the cages in here because they've got a back to them. Let me explain what I'm talking about. I had designed these as neat looking cells, but if we're actually placing medium gauges, yep, it's got a back to it. Let's see. So that'll look like that for the ghouls. I'll just put them a bit forward so they actually have some space behind them. That might look cool through the windows, even if you're just staring at a wall. Go back to concrete here. Now we just need the solid walls. What are we snapping to here? Not sure why that one's snapping like that. This snap's going a bit crazy, so I'm going to actually turn off snapping with the place anywhere mod and just do a rough lineup myself. I'm not too worried about the, you know, the holding cells being super aligned. Height is important though. Let's fix that. That looks good. Well, that's the issue. It had quite the gap up in the front. Okay. Good, good, good. So we have ghouls. And then moving up from there, let's do a raider cage. You have to have jet. That's great. Free camps. Again, I'm gonna put it pretty far forward. I'm wondering now if I should have a windowed wall going on so that you can see down into the cages from the switch area. Okay, then we'll do gunners, and then the last one will be super mutants, but I can't build it yet. I need Brahmin meat. Yeah, we'll do some gunner cage here. Now before I seal these up, I want the power connected for each door to the cage, and I'm going to glitch the wire through. Now the purpose of that is I want the inside door on the actual cage to open every time the front door opens. I just don't want switches for both. This is already way too complicated as far as switches go. I'm just going to get a conduit. We'll float it out here. Link it there. Glitch it through the wall. See if this will actually connect. It will. Okay. So that's got power. Let's see what happens if I, well, get stuck in one of the cages. If I go upstairs and flip the switch. Hopefully both doors should close. Let's see. Actually, I think it's still open because there's nothing inside just yet, because the game is showing that it does have power. Trying to remember the help prompt that popped up the first time that I placed one of those cages. It might be that when power is taken from it, once something's inside, the door opens. We'll have to test that here in a few, guys, because I'm honestly not sure which way that works. But I am going to wire them up, and we'll figure something out. May have to adjust it later, though. For now. Oh, I need actual rooftops. There we go. Turn snapping back on. I'm really thinking if I can avoid messing with the conduits on the wall, it would be really cool to have a windowed wall here. Okay, cool. It didn't actually put any of the stuff that I had clamped to it into the workshop. That might happen for you guys. It might have not done it just because I'm using that place anywhere mod. But this way, I can actually see down into the cage when I operate the switches. I like this. Just go ahead and... Okay, we lost a couple there. Those were clamped, it looks like. Okay, we only lost one wall of conduits. That's good. We can rebuild that. Come on, snap. Snap. It's really not wanting to snap to that one wall. Okay. Again, I'll just turn off snapping and we'll do that manually. I think there was some overlap. That's why it was not wanting to cooperate. So this can go here. This can go here. That can go down just a bit. This conduit needs to go up top, I believe. It's missing a couple of the connecting pieces. Those should be for the turrets. Nope, just the one connecting piece. That works for me. That should restore the turret connection right there. It goes around. Oh, well, that's white. So bright you can't even see it. It goes around the rooftop there to those laser turrets, looking down over the Death Claw cage right there. Let's move this conduit down. Okay, guys. Which one? It was this one. Okay, again, we don't see any changes. Just because there's nothing inside, I believe. But we now have easy access to all of the medium-sized cages. And how does that look from the back? That looks pretty cool. Pretty cool indeed. Very monolithic and depressing looking building. Gonna hop down here. There are a lot of people watching. Okay. I'm gonna hook the rest of these up, and then we're going to finish things off by just sleeping for like a week, and we'll see if we actually get anyone inside and how these cage doors operate, because again, I'm not entirely sure which way we're supposed to be wiring this thing. Let's get rid of that rooftop just for a second while we finish the conduits, because it does not like that clipping through. Let's connect that there. Glitch that through the wall. I'm essentially just creating my own version of in-the-wall wiring. There we go. I'll scoot that one a little bit back. Cool. Now I can go back up there and put that rooftop back on. I still have lots of detailing that I want to add for the dock, for the eating area and stuff like that, but for this first part, we'll just take a look at getting everything operating and wired up like it needs to be. Okay. Turn snapping back on. Snap and snap. Is there anything else that I want to work with for now? I don't think so, guys. We've got a pretty impressive arena here. As far as the walls go, I was thinking about adding some kind of outside support because these walls are very tall, but they have that iron framework, and I don't know if they would actually need any kind of brackets or anything outside. Let me know what you guys think. Should I add some brackets to the outside of the wall? Just for that extra bit of realism. For now, though, let me seal up all of these doors, and let's see what we can cook up. So that's got electricity. Gonna reactivate our security system. And go ahead and let some time pass and see what we catch. Well, I feel a bit foolish, guys. The reason that I could not catch anything initially, you can see I've added another Deathclaw cage just temporarily down there, is because the cages do require power initially to function. And then when you toggle that power, hopefully with a switch, that will release whatever you've captured. Ooh, the Deathclaw is here. All the doors are sealed, the lights are on. Shall we see what happens? Are the spotlights going? Ooh, the spotlights aren't going. Well, let's get them started and maybe wait just a little bit for some more daylight, and then we'll release what we have and see how our doors function. Okay. There we go. All the spotlights are going now. Let's see what's in our cages. Now, what I could do if I wanted to do this from the control room would be to set up power and toggle it. There we go, the door is open, there's a gunner in there. And a raider. And a ghoul. And, I believe, a Deathclaw. And for now, these are running off of the light switch, so if we toggle it...
Lock and load.
Oh. It's a glowing Deathclaw. Now I'm still working on how exactly I'm going to get the fight out of this part and into the arena. More organization on the part of the doors and the switches will probably help, but the concept is working. Ooh, the ghoul down there is going crazy. Well, let's get to the control room and get ready to activate our defenses. I think the gunners and raiders are having a hard time making their way out of the pens, though. I am seeing that. Alright, activate the saws. Trying to get his attention here. He keeps getting stuck in all the stuff I have down there. That's fantastic. That's alright, go into the Deathclaw cage. So, just for the sake of testing it out, guys, let's initiate lockdown procedures. First, the cage turrets. Then all of the turrets, including the missile turrets. Oh yeah, that does the trick.
This time.
There's chunks of something. I'm gonna go around to the guard tower and see if I can see what happened. Deathclaw is definitely dead. All the saws are going. That NVIDIA debris looks pretty cool. It's physics-based extra debris. Let's not fall in though. There's the Deathclaw. Looks like he also got caught on that wall-mounted saw blade. That just looks wild with all the saw blades going. Well guys, we have a few kinks to work out, but I think this arena is pretty solid already, and it's a lot of fun. This has been a lot more fun than I actually expected to have with all the arena stuff, and while I don't see myself building a ton of these, going wild on a build like this has been a lot of fun. Ooh, almost fell in. I'm going to do some more work on it, and we will revisit it and see how it works next time. You know what, let's just dive in. Until then, be sure to leave your suggestions in the comments, guys. I'll be sure to check them all out. As always, thank you for watching. I'll see you guys next time.
Don't move.